I'm back. Okay, this is part 9, and I'm sorry it's so long, but there's just so much to say, and I could talk about it all night long, honestly. There was just so much to see. But, I left off where, I barely got through that ash stuff, and Lurch pulled me through, and then we got onto the lawn in front of the house, and now Yeshua wants to talk to me. So I walk up to him, I said, "Here I am," and he said, okay. He took out a vial of oil, and he put some on his finger, and it was like this, and he goes like this, and then on my right temple like that, and this oil started dripping down, and he said, now I want you to write this down and tell my people, because you are the last generation. So I said, okay, and got my pad out and pen, and he said, look up to the sky. So I looked up, he said, what do you see? And I said, blue sky. And he said, now look up. And so I looked up and I saw dark, like a ashy black covering. And he said, now watch. And I saw it starting to lightly drizzle. And it wasn't, doing much. It didn't cover any of the plants or anything like that. Now I guess I call it the second stage, it started to, come down. And it was, I guess it was like a rain. And then there's like a third stage, and it was really pouring down. And I saw that, like, in the first stage, that it was like around Christmas, and people, I guess it was after the war, but the Civil War in America, but people were very somber but grateful. People were trying to get their lives back together, and in a way it was a little normal, but people acted like a spanked child. So that was the first. Then there was a fourth stage, and this time it was like a blizzard. This ash came down, and I put my hand in front of my face, and I couldn't see my hand. It was blinding. And I looked at my robe, and it was getting all, dirty and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, this is really bad, what is it? And he explained that it's kind of a built-up of sin, and it's one of the vials. So I believe is like the 5th vial, and it will be poured out on people. It will affect mainly your spirit, but it also somehow affects your body, your flesh, because you have to wash it off. You have to both pray and wash it off. And if you are a Christian, naturally you're going to pray anyway. So the people that don't talk to God, or not a lot, well, that'll affect them the most. I was shown then that I was in front of my house, and it was like early spring, and the flowers and stuff were starting to grow, and but I was just waiting for this event to happen because I knew it was time, and I had told people, and people were going to be staying with me during that time. And so they all knew, and it started to blizzard down. Or maybe it was more like raining down, but it was coming down pretty hard. And I ran into the house. I already had the windows and everything boarded up, and a couple weren't, but I was just waiting until, it actually happened. Well, it did, and the people that were staying with me came driving up in their cars and their automobiles and came running in. At that point, everybody got in, and we locked the door. Then a straggler came, and he came running down the driveway as fast as he could, and he was like chased by people, and he was holding a rifle, and he's, let me in, let me in. And we were just looking at each other like, should we? I mean, we might have time, but we don't want to let any of those other people that are chasing him inside. And he's like pounding on the door, and I don't know. I just said, let's just let him in. So we let him in, and then all these people surrounded the house, and they were like pounding on the windows and the doors, and we boarded the front door. The sliding glass door in the back was not boarded up yet, and I was just watching this guy because he was very nervous and upset and freaking out, and I was just like, you're gonna be okay, just, you're fine. And he's like, oh, they're all around, they're gonna get us. And I'm just like, we're okay. Well, in the middle of the kitchen, which is where we were, it's a living room and kitchen, kind of a family room or whatever. In the middle was stocks of food that people had brought to for this very time. And there was a bottle of wine somebody had brought, and he picked it up and started guzzling it down. And now he was just like, oh my God, he was so freaking out. And I'm just like, what is he going to do next? Well, it's like he went out of his mind, and he broke out a window and started shooting at the people. And then he was like, I can't take it anymore. And he voluntarily opened up the the sliding glass door and ran out. We shut it right away and then pounded, the last boards up and watched as this man was basically absorbed by the crowd. That was very strange. I didn't see him being killed. It was more like he became them, like he was absorbed. And then Yeshua said, now if you need to go out for anything, make sure that you do it quickly and you come back and you wash your clothes or you leave them in the front, but you don't want that stuff floating around in the house. Oh, you're supposed to also close all windows and anything that lets air in. So if you do have to go out, you do it really quickly, then you wash your clothes, you leave them out at the front door, then you have to take a shower and wash your eyes, everything. I mean, yeah. And then you pray it off. So I wouldn't want to go out there. And it affects these people like they go crazy. It's kind of, if you read the fifth seal, you'll understand. It's very strange. Anyway, looking at the food supply and everything, we're in there for at least 7 days. So I know that a lot of people are saying 3 days of darkness, but that might be where it's darkness. Like I looked out the window and it was dark and I saw things out in the dark that weren't human. Things roaming around. After probably 7 days, and it lets up and then it's over and cleansed, you can go back outside. So, I do want to say 7 days, only because 7 means spiritual completeness. So, anyway, we will have to wait and see on that. But the 3 days of darkness I could see as when it's blizzarding and it's really, really dark. And you can't see it totally with your spirit, with your flesh eyes, but it's more of a spiritual thing. But when I had looked out, it looked pretty dark out there. So when we're able to go back out, I saw that it looked like everything had been cleansed, like sparkling clean type thing, and renewed, it looked like. And the Pope will make an announcement and say that there is a new golden age coming, and that the Messiah is coming. And he's all, the Pope is all decked in gold, and there were like people sitting next to him. And what it reminded me of is when Christ, had his last dinner and the apostles were sitting around the table and eating. That's kind of what I saw it was like. So it was kind of strange. And so that was it on that. What I'm going to do is break up the different prophecies so that they're not running into each other, and you'll be able to pick it out real easily. So I'm going to name this one Sin of the World, and let's see, this will be part 9, Sin of the World, and maybe put in Days of Darkness, so it'll be easy to identify. All right, still some more to go, and I don't think I'll be able to do any more today, and I probably won't be able to do any more until Friday. Friday I'll be able to get it all done. Okay, talk to you soon.